Hey, I'm here with Devilwalk at the Luminosity Gaming House um, with Bella, Luminosity Gaming Dog, and yeah, catching them in between practice as we recorded an interview while we were at ESWC, and the audio didn't record, so it was kind of unfortunate. But I guess just getting back to that, we're going to try to recreate the interview as best as possible, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
guess
guess we can start with what happened at ESWC. Obviously, O3 groups, and that was it. Um, Total of like 15 rounds or something. Now you've just joined Luminosity. We'll talk about that in a sec. But what happened? I guess at the event.
Well, I mean, we had a pretty hard group. We had Titan, which we lost 16-7. We lost against SK 16-11 on Kabul, and we lost against Navi 16-8, I think. I think we got 8, but
Who's counting?
I'm saying 8, not 7. Against Navi on Inferno. I still think we did like a decent tournament. I mean, I don't want to make any excuses. We didn't have that much practice coming into it, but I still think that we did a pretty decent tournament. We had good things going for us in all matches. I think we were really good on pistol rounds. We had good conversions on anti-ecos, you know, and there were always like situations every round that we could have won. We could have played every situation much better, of course, but I still think that we came into like situations we could have won basically, and that's really promising on especially like T sides. Our CT sides kind of felt a bit, I don't know, lost, but it's kind of I was basically thrown into NAS positions, so I like positions I've never really played before. I've always been in a very supportive role and not really being like an anchor man or being in those kinds of positions. So I wasn't used to at it at all.
Now that you're calling, what were kind of the takeaways that you got from ESWC? As you could say, that was pretty much a learning experience. You know, everyone's really trying to be on their A game, and you're coming into a new team with not low expectations, but just going to take it in stride. Obviously, it's not going to be considered a huge loss for you as you're brand new, but you're here to stay. So now that you're calling, as you mentioned, what were your takeaways, and what have you learned about how the team's being used? What do you think you're going to do differently with different players?
I mean, we've already changed a lot of stuff. We're basically scratching everything, but we're still obviously going to use some things that are really good. But we have to build it from the base, like from the ground up. It's going to be a very European-esque style of playing Counter-Strike.
What does that mean?
Well, it basically means getting map control in very like default settings from the start. Gathering information. You have no pre-game information. You gather information as you go and adapt during the game.
Does that mean like a lot of defaults as opposed to executes?
A lot of defaults, a lot of small moves you can kind of tie things together and do a lot of different things with. Both faking, like every single strat you have should be fakeable at least in 2 different ways, I feel. And that's kind of like just to keep it unpredictable and so you'll always be able to use that strat even though people check demos.
So would you say Fnatic's playstyle is similar to NIP's in some ways? The Swedish playstyle, is that a thing?
Yeah, I guess so. It's very free. Like all players, I feel like have a free role to do whatever they want, but they have to take a lot of responsibility as well. Like you cannot go full YOLO mode without saying anything, or I mean, then you're gonna get like I guess yell or whatever. But if they feel like really comfortable, they call it, and the caller says, "Yeah, go for it, man. It's all right." And you try to work things and tie things together from that. I think that's the way. Yeah, I don't know if it's Swedish style, but I know a lot of Swedes use it.
Yeah, it's been successful, and it's like very more individualistic, right? You're saying if you've got a smart player here, he makes his own decision, and you can kind of work off that as an IGL.
But yeah, we just want our defaults to go well, and then you always have strats but I feel like strats executes is plan B. When you really either you force them to kind of rotate or found a pattern where they'll rotate. They're maybe gonna focus middle if we do this, so maybe we can fake this and do an execute to kind of force rotations off. But kind of forgot the question. I don't know.
Yeah, we were just expanding,
Yeah.
but you're a player who has played on Fnatic in the past, had a long period where you were coaching after that moved out, and we talked about this before, but I want to retouch on it. You are a player with a major to his name. You've won a major. It was the first DreamHack, first 250K tournament in CS:GO. You won that tournament when Pronax came on. It's now considered just maybe the best IGL in the world by some people, simply because he's running the best team. Now it's up for contention, but when you were playing on the team and Pronax came on the team, was that the reason that you were able to win that first major?
Absolutely. It was all Pronax. I think we were ranked like, I don't know, 7th, 6th maybe at best, maybe 5th, but like that's absolute best in the world back then.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of raced to the 3rd slot, if I recall, by like all over overall. Which we later kind of dropped very quickly from, but that was Pronax working, and I feel like a lot of why we kind of dropped was because we started questioning Pronax, and I know that Pronax, once he gets questioned, he has a hard time calling, because he doesn't want to call in a way he's not comfortable with.
Can you expand on that?
I questioned him even though I have no idea why, but I knew way less about Counter-Strike back then, and how it's supposed to be played or how it worked with how other people are thinking. So that's kind of like we try to change things up and try to reinvent ourselves, and that just kind of blew in our faces where we tried to change too much too quick.
Is that what happens when you just start losing?
Yeah, you try to reinvent yourself. Before that we always looked at demos and how we played, and like what's negative, what do we have to fix, and how do we fix it. But the thing is, what I learned from that was it's actually better to go the other way around. You keep the positive, and then work out the way while keeping the positive, because it's very, very easy to when you have a negative. Sometimes even if you don't know it, you'll grab something from the positive and kind of crash that just to make that other thing work,
right.
And then everything falls apart. I'm looking at another perspective now, so I've learned a lot from that.
So you'd say building brick by brick. So
yep.
Cool. Now after the roster changes happened on your team at Fnatic, you got moved into a coaching role. Did you kind of want to step down? Did you want to continue playing? Were you kind of relieved after that spell of losing? What were your thoughts about moving into coaching or just stopping playing?
Well, I never... so the story is that obviously we had issues in our team. I felt like the whole team would probably have disbanded if something extreme wasn't to be done. So I decided to kick myself and Schneider, because we had so many problems that I don't think like just removing one member and bringing in one other will like change the atmosphere or like the problems we had. We would keep the baggage we had and still have problems. So I wanted a really, really new, fresh environment for everyone, and I couldn't see it possible without removing 2 players. So I decided to remove myself and Schneider.
It's a pretty selfless move. After watching the Fnatic documentary that came out that followed their success through the tournament, which is a great documentary, I recommend everyone check it out. They talked to you a lot in that documentary, and we learned more about roles. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of information on roles and stuff like that. And you played support for the team. I think it's like your attitude and your personality made you very easy to play with, and so you kept kind of the really strong fraggers together when they had like a bit of a temper or maybe hot head, right?
Yeah.
So cutting yourself in that regard, it's kind of like it wasn't because of your performance per se, or
I mean, I wasn't performing all that great individually, but I mean, I did my job and I did it good. I never complained. I never did anything like that. So I don't think I would have been bad if I still kept playing, but I was definitely in a slump at that time.
So how did you like coaching, and when did you decide that?
I mean, I wasn't offered a. I mean, I didn't. I just kicked myself and that was it. And then they offered me a job afterwards. So I was like, yeah, why not? That would be great. And you know, at the beginning, I knew absolutely nothing about coaching.
Were you the first coach?
I was the first coach of Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
So you invented the role.
I don't know if I invented it. I mean, it came from other games.
Well, how did you how did you know what? Did you know what to do? The best way to coach, obviously, a lot. You had to teach yourself, right?
I mean, it was a teaching experience. I had to teach myself like how to. I mean, I wasn't the most knowledgeable person at Counter-Strike back then. I mean, probably some of the players knew more than me. Mm-hmm. But after observing for a while, you know, learning how to check demos, see tendencies, all this kind of stuff, you kind of get a broader view, and like you see stuff more objectively in a completely different way than you did as a player. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also why I could be a really good game leader now, but I don't think I could have back then.
Mm-hmm. So after all is said and done, how much impact do you think you had on the current Fnatic roster as a coach?
I mean, it's a lot about me and Pronax. We talked a lot, and obviously, I think it was the players. I mean, it's hard to keep learning all of Meister what to do, or I mean, he knows a lot, and every player we played with, they all knew so much. But it's basically reminders and like details, like telling people like rotate here, do that, or like small things to like kind of make sure the defense is solid, or stuff like that. And other than that, after a while, it became mostly except me and Pronax talking tactics and like developing stuff like that, and checking demos and tendencies. It was keeping everyone happy and making sure no one had unnecessary discussions during the game, or you know, keep everyone focused on the goal and keep everyone happy during the game. Because I really believe that you should have fun playing Counter-Strike, and if I see a 2 series of a phase, I'll just make the worst joke in history, and they'll like, what the fuck
take all the attention onto you,
and they'll at least have a smile and keep on playing. So
yeah, I saw a lot of that when we were at ESWC. After matches, devilwalk always had a great attitude, just keeping it upbeat, and just talked about how important that is. So I guess you are excited to start playing again.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, we have a lot of work to do, but I think within I think the first day we got a lot of stuff done on 2 of our maps, and it felt really solid. We'll see in a couple of days, because we haven't played the best opponents on it, but we're taking map by map and trying to figure out each map at a time, so we don't go too overboard with new information for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Is there does it feel like you're playing in Europe when you're deciding what a good strategy is, or do you play differently to play against NA teams?
I mean, NA teams do a lot of random stuff. Which I don't think is smart at all, but that's just how it is. I don't know. It works sometimes for them, so why not? Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I don't think the strats in themselves is different from what you would use against an EU team. It's just the way getting there is different, and how you're countered is different. Mm-hmm. The strat and the theoretics behind it is still the same, I feel.
Cool. Now, you are one of a couple of players, Pyth included, who's come down to play with you in Luminosity. He was here first, actually. What are the logistics for traveling to move to NA? Was that a big decision for you? Like, you're leaving all your Swedish friends behind. Like, do you go to IKEA when you're lonely? and sit on the couches to feel more at home?
No, I have Pitt here, so I can talk Swedish. So I'm not that lonely, and I don't feel like I miss home yet. I've only been here for how long is it? I don't know. Someone's pointing at me, but I can't really remember. Anyways, I don't miss home that much now. I'm having a great time here, and I really enjoy playing with each and every one of these guys. And I really feel like we can grow and develop and be one of the best teams in NA in a short period of time. Awesome. And everyone believes in that project, and I believe we have the players to do so.
Myself included. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.